Ellis, Renee buttered you up, so I will too. You are an inspiration. You started out as a taxi boat operator. You were chief counselor to the Haisla Nation, and now you're an MLA. It's a testament to your leadership and your vision. But in this time of misinformation, expertise matters. And 16 days ago, you introduced yourself as a subject matter expert on climate change and broad economic development. Could you please tell the people watching this debate about the formal or informal education you've received to become this kind of expert?
Ellis, you have a minute to respond.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad to answer that question, because how many in the stage can say they read the BC Environmental Assessment Act 10 years ago? How many of this on this stage can say they read the Canadian Environmental Assessment Act? How many of you can say that you read just about every single case law regarding Aboriginal rights and title that's closely connected to environmental principles? I can say it. I did it. In fact, if anything, I worked that through the forestry issue, the mining issue, the LNG issue. And the one thing I will say with the NDP, they took the Environmental Assessment Act to BC and they threw it out the window. There is no BC Environmental Assessment Act for BC anymore. So in terms of that, not only did I read it, I lived it. And if anything, I made those standards higher. I was actually the one that actually developed a protocol with the BC government to actually make addressing environmental issues easier for First Nations and the BC government. I couldn't do it with Canada, they're too far removed. But the BC government was much better. That's why I joined the BC Liberals in the first place.
Val, you have a minute to respond.
Thanks, Maz. We can't expect our politicians to be experts on everything, but it is critically important that our leaders have the judgment to tell the difference between fake news on Facebook and credible scientific data. It was surprising, Ellis, to hear you say that you're an expert in climate change. 2 years ago, you weren't making that claim. In fact, you said you don't know what to believe about global warming because, according to you, even scientists and experts don't agree. This is deeply concerning. We need to be unequivocal on our climate policy. As leader of the BC Liberal Party, I would not be confused about climate science. Climate change is real, and it is happening now. Average temperatures have already increased, and Ellis, average voters understand this. Why don't you? As leader, I will view all policies through a lens of climate action and climate change mitigation and adaptation. This is not just how we win in 2024. This is how we do what's right.
Ellis, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Thank you, Val. And you know what? I did say that because I listened to the expert arguing about it. But it didn't stop me from doing what was right in terms of addressing environmental impacts, whether you're talking about air, land, and water. How many people can say they did that in the stage? Can you say you did that in the stage for 17 years, Val? I never saw you in a position to do that. In fact, of all those tables I sat at for environmental assessments, I didn't even hear your name, much less see you. But on the other side of that, you know what? There's a lot more we could be doing, a lot, much more. And we could be doing more if we get back into government. And that's my goal.
Thank you, Ellis. Kevin Falcon.
Michael, you've